afternoon, everybody. So normally I don't do a live stream for my team selection. I do it pre-recorded. But I've been in bed since Wednesday with a bit of a, not a virus, a bit of a cold. So I haven't felt too fresh and I still wanted to get a team selection out. So I thought I'll do it live and ideally this will be really straightforward and go absolutely fine. But we will see how it goes. Wade Wilson is in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. He said, who's on the triple captain Haaland train then? As you can tell by the title, I think I am. I think I'm convinced. And I've talked myself out of wildcarding. I know everyone's wildcarding this week. And what frustrates me about the wildcard is it's players that are a lot better than me that are wildcarding. So I'm obviously missing something there. But I just looked at my team and I thought, I don't think now's the time that I feel the need to wildcard. And hopefully there will be a better occasion to happen. We've got Raphael, triple captain Haaland. Good evening. Well, good afternoon, Reese. Juba, triple captain ahoy. Okay, I'm feeling good. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining. Well, I'm going to go through my team for last game week, which was just one of the worst game weeks of my entire life. And that's saying something because I've had some bad game weeks. I think the reason it was so bad was because of the Chelsea match. If that hadn't happened, if Sanchez hadn't gone mad and then we conceded 2 goals and after this video I'm never going to talk about it again because I hated it. So here is how I got on last game week. 32 points. That is so bad. I think it was about 10 points below average. A hefty rank now of 7.6 million, which is not going in the right direction, and that's a bit of a shame. So we've got Sanchez in goal, -3 points. Honestly, if you watch the vlog, that was only half of how angry I was. There was a lot more swearing, as we'll be able to testify. I was not in a good place at all. It's been so long since I've been that frustrated watching Chelsea. And then for suddenly all these substitutions happening, Cole Palmer coming off, I knew that it wasn't going to end well. I think, to be fair, I'll take how it ended. I think it wasn't too bad considering everything. But in terms of my FPL team, that was awful. And the worst thing is I can't even say that I don't know why I went for Sanchez because I didn't even consider taking in Dubravka or playing Dubravka, who came away with 4 points. That's 7 points difference. And then it just got worse. I've got Neco Williams. That was great. He got a goal, got 10 points from him. That happened at the start of the game week, and I thought this was going to be my game week and I was going to halve my rank, and nothing else good really happened. Porro, 1 point, Munoz, 2 points. The irony is that if I'd have stayed with Estev, I'd currently be 1 point better off. So that's another transfer that isn't working in my favour. Rodon, 2 points, and Rodon I went for over Reinders. I thought 4 at the back was the future, and it's the first time I've played 4 in the back in God knows how long. And look how that turned out, so that was great. Then Salah, the captaincy, thank goodness. I did expect him to get more, but thank goodness he did get an attacking return, even if it was just an assist. Where it happened so early, I thought I was going to get another goal or something from him, but at least my captaincy was on someone that got some points. Gakpo, nothing. Rogers, he's still in my team, and that's not going to last for much longer. João Pedro, I was surprised with. I thought he was going to score, but I think in light of how that game was going, it was all downhill from the start, really. Watkins, less said about him the better. And Chris Wood, my boy Chris Wood, 2 points, nothing. So Dubravka on the bench. Reinders, 9 points on the bench. Really, really, really annoying. It was written in the stars. The way that the game week started out, I just knew that Reinders was going to get something. And early on, I thought, why did I bench him? Why did I bench an attacker for one of the best teams in the league? Never mind. Thankfully, Josh King and Vandenberg didn't do anything. If you did watch my vlog, you'll know that I was on my team section last week. You'll know that I was really toying with activating my bench boost. Now, in some ways, it would have been good to activate it because I would have been 15 points better off in quite a bad game week. But I think I'd rather save. I thought I probably won't have Salah for much. Well, I haven't. Spoiler, I transferred him out. Won't have Salah for much longer. We'll hopefully have a bit more money to play around with in the team because this team still does have money in the bank. And I thought if after I wildcard, I have a stronger bench, then that'll be the time to bench boost. And this just wasn't the right time. So let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. As I said, will I wildcard or will I not? Who knows? I think he was hoping today from the press conferences that 3 of his teammates, 3 of the options from his team were going to be injured so he can wildcard. I think the FOMO is strong with that one. The problem is, as he's thinking about wildcarding and not having João Pedro, which I think is such a bad idea, and especially ahead of their clash against Brighton, which is going to be painful for him. I sense it. Dave's in the chat. Hello, Dave. Jankster Junior. Hello. Attaboy, I love that comment. Yes, still above Az. It's so funny because I mean, this game week, I got -3 points by keeper. I still got more points than him, which I think is really funny. Darth Fizzle, good day from Brisbane, Australia, 1 a.m. watching your live stream keenly. Oh, thank you so much for joining. My dream is to move to Australia because I just loved it. My brother was out there for a year, so I stayed there for a month. I was in Sydney for the month. We went to Byron Bay. And it is just such a lovely way of life. And when I look out the window, I'm living in Brighton now, which I'm really enjoying, but it's very grey. It's not very Australia. I keep on comparing Brighton to Australia, actually. But I'm rambling. Stu says, already used my wildcard, so I don't have that dilemma. I mean, that's one way to do it, isn't it? That's kind of how I'm feeling about the triple captaincy. Just get it out of the way. JT says, now we're stuck with Dubravka. It's true. Reese is looking at Foden. Short term looks incredible. I completely agree. And again, I've got Az in my ear going on and on about Foden. I think, that would be a nice transfer to do. But I have yet to do it. And then Phil says, hello, Yellen, how are you? I'm good, thank you. A bit nasally, might be able to tell. But yeah, I'm well. Oh, and Niall's in the chat as well. Afternoon, Wade. Afternoon, Niall. Hope you're well. And Heather says, triple captain Haaland, my first chip of the season. I think I'll be joining you there, Heather. So we'll have a look at my team, how it's lined up so far. So in defence, we're going to stick with the trusty 3 at the back now. I think it's going to be a while until I've got the commitment to go 4 at the back with that one. So we've got Sanchez, Brighton at home. I mean, the clash, Chelsea versus Brighton, is just legendary now. It's never, ever a dull game. I'm hoping it's going to be more like last season when Cole Palmer scored 4 against them. Plus the fact that we're playing at home, I think really bodes in our favour. Brighton haven't been the best on the road this season. They've conceded twice in their away games so far, and they're yet to keep a clean sheet in all games. So I'm very, very confident in the fact that we're going to score. I think it could be high scoring, and I think after last week's game, we need to pull a really good performance out the bag. And unfortunately, our victims are going to be Brighton and Hove Albion. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Then we've got Porro against Wolves. Now, this is a no-brainer for me because Wolves have looked absolutely terrible. And again, Spurs are playing at home. Only concern is these big Spurs fans that, again, know a lot more about me than football. Know more about football than I do. They are saying that Porro might be benched. So that's one to tackle. If it happens, it happens. At this point, I think I'm past caring. No, I'll play him anyway because I'll be more annoyed about if I don't play him and then he ends up starting versus if I play him and then he's on the bench. Neco Williams, one last hurrah. Sunderland at home. Surely Forest will get their first clean sheet of the season. I'm not feeling great, but the fact that Williams was so attacking last week makes me feel a little bit better about things. And I think with the wildcarders, this is the strength of not wildcarding. I haven't yet got that template. It's coming. I know that I'm going to have the most template boring team in the world, so prepare yourselves. But I think other people have transferred out their Forest assets now. So if I do get anything defensively, that'll be a real win. Then Munoz, I don't like the opposition, I'll be honest. Liverpool at home, not feeling fabulous about that. But he's so attacking, I can't put him on the bench. And like I said, Estev has actually outscored him so far in my team. So hopefully it'll be a big week for Munoz. Then we look at the midfielders. So I've still got Reinders. You'll see that I've transferred out Salah. But we'll talk about Reinders. Burnley at home, lovely fixture. Should be good for Man City. Gakpo, so taking out Salah, I'm quite pleased that I've still got that Liverpool attack. And I'm still feeling good about Gakpo. I know that he's probably not a long-term hold because we're not really sure what's going to happen with Isak. If I can bring in Isak ASAP, I will be so happy because he's just one of the best assets ever, and playing for Liverpool will be absolutely insane. But I've still got Gakpo, Rodgers, Fulham at home. I mean, can Villa get any worse? They're just so bad. Why on earth? They looked so good in pre-season. Now look at what's happening. But I had double Villa attack. That was the biggest mistake of my season so far. And there's been some mistakes, but it'll be great to see something from Rodgers. Maybe he'll have a bit of confidence and score. But I guess if it was Fulham away, I'd feel a lot worse about it because I think Fulham are really good at home, but maybe on the road, they'll be a bit leaky, potentially. And then we've got Semenyo. So it feels mental that I've taken out Salah for Semenyo, but I'm actually really excited about it. Semenyo is obviously the top scoring midfielder this season, thanks to 3 goals and 2 assists. He's also top for shots in the box with 12 in total, which is actually higher than Salah, who's got 7. So I feel like actually it's an upgrade for a lot less money, and I feel fine about it. I thought I was going to be a bit more nervous taking out Salah, but recent game weeks, it's just not, he hasn't had that pizzazz, has he? He's not coming away with 3 goals, a brace. And then anything he does get is so late into the game, you can't even really enjoy owning him as an asset. And I think in some ways, the Salah captaincy has actually held me back this season. Not that I've ever really had a better captaincy option, because my team's just not doing well at all. But I think now it'll be, well, I'm not going to have any variation really, because I'll probably just captain Haaland, which is the spoiler for my forwards. So we have got João Pedro, Brighton Hove Albion. I'm so excited for this game. It's a 3:00 fixture, so unfortunately I will not be watching it. But the good news is I will not be at home, because Az will be crying like a baby when we score our 5th goal against Brighton. I can hear him booing me from the lounge. No, it's probably for the best. The last time I did all of this fighting talk was Valentine's Day, and Brighton beat us, and that was the worst Valentine's Day of my life. So, and I've had some bad ones. I've been single for a while. But yeah, João Pedro facing his former club. I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be a really big game. And I'm feeling confident. I was going to say quietly confident. Very, very confident. As I said, didn't just beat you, schooled you. That is true. That is what happened. But, I've hidden my comments. Come here, comments. Look at me fixing things. JT says Gakpo's in terrible form, has to pick up soon though. See, this is where I see glimmers of hope. I really like watching him. I mean, there are times where I'm disappointed, and there's been times where I've thought he scored and it's not actually him, but I still like him as an asset. Hopefully it will pick up soon. And then, sorry, rambling. This is why I need to do pre-recorded stuff, because I just get distracted. Then Haaland, Burnley at home. It's happening. I'm excited. The arms are waving. Look like one of those wacky inflatables. Haaland's just been insane. The fact that we didn't, a lot of us didn't have him at the start. If you had him, well done. Because again, this season, I said, start with Haaland and Salah, and then you can work your way down. And then I was like, no, I don't need Haaland, the absolute machine. He's back, he's on form, he's looking absolutely great. He's had 20 shots in the box and 10 big chances, which is the most of any player. 6 goals already this season, and he's averaging 9.2 points per match. It's quite funny that this is his worst start to a Premier League season, because he is that good. This is what makes me feel confident as well about the triple captain. He hasn't yet had a hat-trick. What if it's this week, Burnley at home? Burnley have also conceded 31 shots in the box in their 2 away matches this season, and they're bottom for expected goals conceded. So I think this is one of those ones that I don't really want to overthink. Also, when they played against Spurs and Man United in their away fixtures, they lost 3-0 and then 3-2. So they're not very good away from home. I am a little bit concerned because Burnley did play a back 5 against Liverpool, and they did put up a decent defensive performance, but I think that was in a home fixture anyway. So I think you just have a bit more oomph when you're playing at home. I say you, a player. I've never played in the Premier League, which is a shock, I know. And then the other concern about Haaland was his fitness, but the fact that Pep's come out today, I mean, maybe he's bluffing, but I think the fact that he's come out today and said he's fine, he's good to go, is really positive. He was in training yesterday and he was rested in the week. So that's another positive thing to take away from that. And like I said, I just don't want to overthink this one. It wasn't always my plan to triple captain Haaland, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to own him by now. But it was on the radar, whereas wildcarding just wasn't on the radar for me. So I don't want to force myself into some sort of strategy that I'm not actually haven't thought through. I mean, not that I've thought through this one. And there is the point that I could hold off on the triple captaincy for Haaland, and I could use it when City play Leeds or Sunderland or West Ham. But what if his fitness drops off? What if something happens? Look at Cole Palmer. Thought he was indestructible, and alas, no, groin gets you. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know in the chat what you're thinking about your captaincy chips, and I will continue talking about my team, because again, I forgot there's more players. Chris Wood, oh God, that's just going to be, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. The fact that Igor keeps on scoring does not bode well at all for Chris Wood's place in that team. Honestly, Forest, the way they are with strikers, there's no loyalty. You had Awoniyi, got injured, went out. Wood came in, replaced, comes on occasionally. That's it. Now you've got Igor, the new shiny toy, younger model. Chris Wood gone. If Chris Wood can start against Sunderland at home, I will be thrilled with just the appearance point. That's how much we're scrambling for points at the moment in this team. And then on the bench, Dubravka, Man City. Surely this is a no-brainer. I don't think there is any chance of me playing Dubravka or that working out better for me than playing Sanchez against Brighton. When I thought Sanchez was going to be suspended for this game week, I was a little bit stressed. I won't lie, because I thought Dubravka against City, plus when I'm triple captaining Haaland, is not a good combination. And then I was considering a -4. Glad I didn't do that, because we are all good to go. Vandenberg against Manchester United. This, again, not feeling fabulous. If there was definite confirmation that Poirier was to be rested, then Vandenberg would 100% be in that spot, because I think he could easily get DEFCON. Plus, they're playing at home. Again, gives them that bit of edge. King against Villa. I mean, Villa have looked shocking, haven't they? And the thing with Josh King now is he looked really good, and then it's all since he scored against Chelsea and it got ruled out by VAR that everything seems to have gone downhill for him. I thought he was going to come back like fighting, getting some sort of attacking return just to stick a middle finger up to VAR, but that hasn't happened. And his minutes are also decreasing week by week, which again isn't fab. For his price point, it's fine. And if I don't need to rely on him again, like just shove him on the bench, that's no issue. But unfortunately, probably won't see himself in my starting 11, which I'm sure if he's watching, he's devastated about. And then Rodon, I put last on my bench just because I'm salty about last game week when I risked playing him and it didn't go too well. But Bournemouth at home, I brought in Semenyo, surely. Surely Semenyo will score, please. Please. I've missed out on Semenyo points this season. It's been painful. And missing out on Fernandes points, that is the one. I don't want to bring in Fernandes, but I know I'm going to have to on a wild card if I'm going to keep up with everyone else. I didn't realise his ownership was so low. It was 18%, I think, last time I checked. Whereas I think on FPL Twitter, everyone has Fernandes. My FPL nemesis actually said, I can get Salah and Haaland if I take out Fernandes. And I was like, look, as someone who hasn't owned Fernandes for such a long time, and it's been horrible, never transfer him out. So that was my advice. And then the vice captaincy, I mean, I'm sure Haaland's going to start and play. There is a chance, though, actually, that his minutes might be managed a bit, because last Sunday he came off at 75 minutes, I think it was, and that was due to fatigue and back pain. So maybe we won't get full 90 from him, but surely hat-trick in the first half, then we're just flying. I can enjoy my weekend. But the vice-captaincy is on João Pedro, just in case anything freaky happens, because I just feel really good about João Pedro. If I was in a better position, rank-wise, then I would probably captain João Pedro this week. I think it's going to be a bloodbath in a good way for a Chelsea fan. Gary's in the chat. Hi, Gary. I hope you're well. Congratulations on being nominated for the FCA. It's very exciting. I'll give a shout out, actually. There's loads to vote for, but my top will obviously be Podcast, Elite FPL, FPL Nightmare, and then there was another one that was nominated, but I've forgotten what they're called. Can you hear us? You've won too. No, it was FPL Black Box. They've also been nominated, which isn't a miracle, but it's just funny because I don't think they pushed for it this year. And they've also, I think there's 2 FCAs behind me. Yeah, they are. They're like these. You can see the reflection, the kind of glass. Az didn't even realise he'd won 2 when we were moving. No one cares about that story, sorry. Just seeing who else is in the chat. Heather, I've got Cells. Oh, interesting. Heather, did you have... I'm guessing that you've just got one Forest defender, because Az went double Forest defence. He had Cells and Milenkovic, and both of those have not been great. But the positive thing is Milenkovic looks to be fit. It was just cramp, so he's not stressing. Do we see a world where Haaland bags a brace early and gets a pre-60 sub? Dave, you know what? I would take that. I'd be really happy with that, to be honest. I think if he can score early, it would just put my mind at ease about the triple captaincy. Last triple captain I used, I was in a dilemma with Trossard or Saka. Ended up going for Saka because I thought it was safer. And then I thought Saka scored, but it actually deflected off of Ødegaard or something. It was horrible. So, and then the whole game, it was a double game week as well. So then I had false hope for the second game that it was going to go well, and that didn't go well. So I'll be pleased if we can get something early, anything. But this is also, I don't know, let me know in the chat. I'm a bit concerned about captaining. Well, I'm not concerned about captaining forward because the forward is Haaland. But obviously, there is the plus of captaining a midfielder because then you get the clean sheet point and extra point for goals. Darth Fizzle, thank you so much. Giving good karma, good coffee karma for my triple captain Haaland chip this game week. Good luck. Thank you so much, Darth Fizzle. That's really, really sweet of you. And if Haaland does well, I will put it all down to you. So thank you. Milos says, I will triple captain Haaland this game week, rolling the free transfers. Sold Wirtz to Ndaya last week, 6 points gain. Very nice. My transfers so far this season have been an absolute disaster. I took out Bowen for Wood, and Bowen's scored twice since. I took out, who else is new in this team? Who did I take out for Gakpo? Midfielder for Gakpo, and Gakpo's done absolutely nothing. Hopefully, if Salah hauls against Palace, that'll just be typical FPL curse, won't it? And then I'm absolutely sure that Watkins is Haaland's going to outscore Watkins, because there is no chance. Stu says, my triple captain luck is terrible. Who have you triple captained in the past? What has cursed you with this chip? Let us know. Oh no, Heather did have double defence. Sells and Murillo. That is a tough start to the season. Are we all going to be going for double Arsenal defence and wildcards? I'm torn. I think I definitely want Gabriel, but then Raya, it's that cheap route in, isn't it? James says, I'm torn between Foden or Doku. Any thoughts? Oh, you know what? I was watching last week and I thought Doku looked so good, but there's something about Foden that's calling my name. And I think someone said earlier that he's definitely a short-term punt, but I just think Foden is so good. And I was reading something that if Burnley do play the low block, then Foden's better at exploiting that. But that's as far as my knowledge on that one goes. You have to find the article, because I think I just read one sentence and was like, that's cool. No, Dave. Are we saying that now you've brought in Haaland, you'll start blanking? Do you know what? This was my fear. Because remember last year, he went on an absolute streak for 6 game weeks, and then I finally brought him in. Or maybe I brought him in on game week 6, and then that's when the blanking started. And I transferred out Salah. Ridiculous. Stephen says, what did Mark really say when you white noised him out? Ugh, all the secrets. There were so many secrets. It was unbelievable. We had to kill 3 men in the pub because they heard the secrets as well. And it can't get out. Oh, Haaland last season versus the Saints as an example. So one of the reasons that I want to captain Haaland early is because, do you remember everyone triple captained him in game week 2 or game week 3? And I thought that was ridiculous and you should wait for a double. And then he went on a mad one. So that's why I'm trying not to overthink this one too much. Colm says, you'll be fine, you'll not only have 5 of your squad. That's good to know, Colm. Thank you. Attaboy says, are you not afraid that it is Pep who says Haaland is ready? Either he said that earlier, he said that was about Rodri and he wasn't even in the squad. Yeah, no, there is a fear of anything Pep says, you kind of think it's the opposite. But I think the fact that Haaland was in training is a good sign. We've seen the pictures. If there hadn't been photos, I'd probably still be a bit more sceptical. But it's an easy fixture. They're playing at home. Surely it'll be fine. Don't let me overthink this, please. I've activated the chip. We're there. I triple captain Mane in a double game week and he got injured first game. Massive 3 points for me. Oh, God. At least you had memories. That's what I always think. Whenever something bad... It's annoying. I tend to only remember the bad things that happen to me in FPL rather than the good. But I think it's because more bad things do happen to me in FPL. One of my highlights was bringing in Willian and everyone was like, why are you doing that? And it was on the way to a Juice charity match. And then he scored and I was like, I'm a genius. However... there was also someone went massive that game week and it completely overshadowed it. Stu said Salah versus Bournemouth, the bloodbath where everyone scored points instead of Salah. Wasn't that like a 7-0 win? That was absolutely ridiculous. I hated that. Niall says, I'm leaning towards Doku and Isak. Do you not think it's a bit early for Isak, Niall? I mean, from what Thingy-Mabob said today in the press conference, he was like, he's not ready for 90, but we could ease him in with 60, 70. I think is what he said. So that sounded quite positive, I think. As is having a phone call, now I'm just trying to tune into his conversations. I'm finding it harder to concentrate. Do you get that when you just get so distracted? Doku's a fun one though. And then, like I said, I think Isak, maybe go early anyway, if you're not too fussed about how many minutes. I mean, Isak's one of those ones that doesn't necessarily need 90 to make a big impact on the team. James says, is Richarlison a good shout? I've heard good things about Richarlison. I think he was in a team of the week that I saw. I mean, it could be worth the risk. Spurs are looking really good. Looking very solid, very attacking. They've got nice fixtures. I can't say I'm an expert on it. So he wouldn't be number 1 for me. But if you have a gut feeling, absolutely go for it. JT said it was 9-0. 9-0. Ridiculous. Don't forget to give the stream a like when you're here, people. Thank you so much, Colm. I'm going to have to head off in about 4 minutes. So if there's anything else you would like to share, please do. Milos says, my mate had 9 points total in 3 years. Triple captain, Mane, Salah. So, oh my goodness, all 1-pointers. That is, surely their luck will change this season. Podcast says, would you do Vitz and die for -4? Yeah. I mean, I just think Wits. The only thing that puts me off, because Az was in this situation, he was thinking about doing Wits for -4. I can't remember who for though, or maybe it wasn't Dyer. And I think Wits will start this game week because he's been rested. He didn't start last week, did he? And I think he was rested in midweek. So I reckon he'll be in the starting lineup. But I don't think it's clicked for him, has it? And I think at the moment they're going to be trying so many different things with the squad. And if he was to, I think the most he'd get is a goal, but I think it would be a fluke. He reminds me so much of Werner. There's just something that's not quite, he can't keep up, can he? So I think Ndiaye is, and also you're getting towards the template, which I'm not anti-template because it does work, but I think it's probably safety in numbers with there. Luke the Lucky said, I think Richarlison is a great short-term punt for 2 to 3 weeks, but not any longer. There's a lot of short-term punts at the moment, isn't there? I don't really know. I think my long-term holds definitely like Semenyo, Haaland, João Pedro, maybe Reinders. I do still like Reinders, and then Munoz, and then I think the rest will all be transferred out. I'll keep Vandenberg just because I really like him and he's cheap. Attaboy says, don't worry about the template wildcard. None have Liverpool, who are top of the league. Salah becomes a differential. So I'm not worried about Salah, but I did find this quite strange that none of the wildcarders do have Liverpool assets. I mean, I suppose maybe you could argue rotation, but it does seem odd. That's why I'm quite happy just not wildcarding this week, because I think if any of my team does do well, a lot of them aren't on the wildcard template. So we should be okay. See you later, Stu. Thanks so much for joining. It's off to watch Albion lose to Leicester now. I think I'll be wrapping up in about a minute as well. Niall said, yeah, Isak looked good in the cup game midweek, but it could easily Gyökeres before West Ham. I'll have a think before the deadline. Yeah, let's go with, I mean, Niall, your gut instinct is so strong with these things. I think whoever you pick, let me know, and then I'll might have to take a -4. Darth Vizzle will finish off with this one. If Haaland blanks, at least you'll have a lot of company in the same boat, I guess. Yeah, that's true. I think, and that's because I think this week Az is either going to triple captain or wildcard. If you triple captains, that's good. If I triple captain this week and Haaland blanks, then he gets the triple captain for Haaland on like West Ham or something, I'll be absolutely gutted. But at least it's out of the way, and then I can't overthink things too much. Colm said triple captain on Haaland with the vice captaincy on Richarlison. If Pep fools us all and doesn't play Erling, I don't think that's going to happen. Let's have famous last words, but surely he's going to be played this week. Well, thank you so much for joining. Go back to this screen. Sorry if it was a bit of a downbeat team selection. Just fighting this cold, but we'll be vlogging this weekend. I'm out tomorrow, so it should be quite fun and entertaining. And then I think the game weekend's on Monday this week, doesn't it? So the vlog will be out Monday. Az and I will be live as usual on Sunday evening for a live stream after the final kick-off of the day. I'm not sure what time that'll be, but I'll schedule it Sunday morning so that you all know to come and join. And thank you so much for joining, especially at short notice. And best of luck this game week. I hope you all get lovely green arrows, and I hope that I halve my rank. So yeah, that would be good. And also, if you're watching this on catch up, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a like on the stream if you enjoyed it, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye, guys.